Michelle Obama was born Michelle Robinson on January 17, 1964, in Chicago. She grew up on the South Side of Chicago. Her family did not have great wealth or privilege. They lived in a small home with limited space. Life was simple, but the home was full of love and discipline. Her parents worked hard and valued education. They taught their children to work seriously for success. Excuses were never accepted easily in that household. Her father, Fraser Robinson III, worked for the city water plant. He lived with multiple sclerosis, a difficult illness affecting movement. Even with pain, he rarely complained about life. He continued working every day to support his family. Michelle watched his discipline and quiet strength. His example taught her one powerful life lesson early. Character matters most when life becomes difficult. That lesson stayed with her forever. Her mother, Marian Robinson, created stability and warmth at home. She encouraged curiosity, reading, and independent thinking. Michelle quickly became known as an excellent student. She loved learning and pushed herself constantly. Teachers noticed her intelligence and strong determination. She was competitive but also highly disciplined. From a young age, she believed education could change lives. That belief became central to her future success. But success did not come without obstacles. Growing up, Michelle often faced low expectations from others. Some people doubted how far she could go. Some believed children from her neighborhood had limited futures. Michelle refused accepting those limitations. She worked harder each year to prove herself. She wanted to build a future on merit and effort. She believed talent meant little without discipline. And soon, her hard work would open major doors. Michelle earned admission to Princeton University, one of America's most prestigious universities. This was a huge achievement for someone from her background. Life at Princeton was challenging in many ways. Academically, expectations were extremely high. Socially, she sometimes felt she did not fully belong. She became deeply aware of race and inequality there. Those experiences shaped her worldview. They made her stronger and more determined. After Princeton, she continued her education at Harvard Law School. Once again, she entered one of the world's top institutions. Her discipline and intelligence continued driving her forward. Step by step, she built an impressive career path. Few could imagine what would happen next. Because during her professional life in Chicago, she was about to meet someone who would change everything. And that meeting would alter both of their lives forever. Soon, Michelle Robinson would meet a young lawyer named Barack Obama. After graduating from Harvard Law School, Michelle Obama returned to Chicago to begin her professional career. She joined a prestigious law firm and quickly earned respect. Her intelligence, discipline, and strong work ethic stood out immediately. Michelle had done everything expected of high achievers. She studied hard, entered elite schools, and secured a powerful career. From the outside, her future looked perfect and secure. She had status, opportunity, and a clear path forward. But deep inside, something still felt missing. Michelle began asking difficult questions about success and purpose. Was success only about money and prestigious job titles? Was climbing the corporate ladder enough for a meaningful life? She wanted work that created real impact on people. She cared deeply about community and social change. Her ambitions were bigger than personal achievement alone. She wanted her work to matter beyond business profits. That desire would shape many of her future choices. Then, during one summer at the law firm, something unexpected happened. A new summer intern arrived from Harvard Law School. His name was Barack Obama. He was intelligent, confident, and unlike anyone she had met. Michelle was assigned as his mentor at the firm. Her job was to help guide him professionally. At first, she saw it as a normal assignment. She had no idea how important this meeting would become. Their first meeting did not feel like a movie romance. Barack immediately made a strong impression on Michelle. He was thoughtful, calm, and deeply curious about people. He spoke with unusual confidence and emotional intelligence. Unlike many ambitious young lawyers, he seemed driven by purpose. He cared about justice, community, and social change. He wanted more than wealth or prestige. Michelle noticed something different about him quickly. He had vision far beyond ordinary career goals. Still, Michelle was cautious about personal relationships at work. She initially resisted Barack's attempts to ask her out. She wanted to stay professional and avoid complications. Besides, she was technically his mentor. Dating him felt like a bad idea. But Barack remained persistent in a respectful way. He continued showing sincerity, humor, and patience. Slowly, Michelle started lowering her guard. Their first dates revealed strong emotional connection. They talked for hours about dreams and life goals. They discussed family, race, responsibility, and America's future. Their connection went deeper than attraction alone. They challenged and inspired each other intellectually. Michelle admired Barack's vision and calm confidence. Barack admired Michelle's strength and grounded perspective. Together, they formed a powerful partnership. But love alone does not remove life's challenges. In 1992, Michelle and Barack got married. They began building a life together in Chicago. Like many young couples, they faced real challenges. Marriage brought joy but also pressure and sacrifice. Both were ambitious and deeply committed to meaningful work. Balancing career and personal life was not easy. Long hours and responsibilities created stress at times. Success came with costs behind the scenes. Michelle later moved away from corporate law. She chose work focused more on public service and community. This decision reflected her deeper values and priorities. She wanted purpose, not only career status. Meanwhile, Barack became increasingly involved in politics. His political ambitions slowly grew stronger each year. Michelle supported him, but not without concerns. She understood politics could change family life completely. Then came another major life chapter: motherhood. Michelle and Barack had 2 daughters, Malia Obama and Sasha Obama. Becoming a mother changed Michelle deeply. Family became central to nearly every decision she made. She worked hard to create stability at home. Raising children while managing careers was exhausting sometimes. Like many parents, she constantly balanced priorities. Her life became a daily exercise in sacrifice and love. Michelle often became the grounding force in the family. She kept routines, discipline, and family values strong. She made sure their daughters stayed humble and grounded. Even as Barack's political career grew bigger, she protected home life. She understood fame could distort normal family experiences. She wanted their daughters to stay connected to reality. That role required enormous strength and emotional discipline. And soon, that strength would be tested like never before. Barack Obama was about to make a decision that could change their family forever: running for president. By the mid-2000s, Barack Obama was becoming one of the most talked about politicians in America. His speeches inspired millions with messages of hope and change. People saw him as intelligent, calm, and deeply charismatic. His popularity kept growing across the country rapidly. Soon, conversations about something much bigger began. People started asking a powerful question: could Barack Obama become president? And if that happened, life would change forever for Michelle. When Barack seriously considered running for president, Michelle Obama had mixed emotions. She believed deeply in his intelligence and leadership. She knew he had extraordinary talent and vision. But she also understood the cost of politics. Campaigns were exhausting, public, and emotionally brutal. Politics could consume family time completely. It could place enormous pressure on marriage and children. Michelle worried about what their family might lose. She asked hard questions before fully supporting the campaign. How would this affect their daughters? Would family life survive constant public attention? Would the children still have a normal childhood? These concerns were real and deeply personal. Michelle always prioritized family above political ambition. She wanted to protect stability at home. That mattered more than fame or power. Eventually, Michelle made a choice that changed history. She decided to stand beside Barack fully. Once committed, she became one of the campaign's strongest voices. Michelle was not just the candidate's wife. She became a powerful speaker in her own right. Crowds connected with her honesty and authenticity immediately. She spoke openly about family, struggle, and sacrifice. People saw intelligence, strength, and emotional warmth in her. She quickly became essential to the campaign. Michelle helped humanize Barack to millions of voters. She shared stories about their real life together. She talked about student loans and balancing careers. She described raising children while chasing big dreams. These stories made the Obamas feel relatable. They were ambitious, but also deeply human. That connection became a major campaign strength. Voters trusted what felt real and authentic. The 2008 presidential race became historic. America was facing war and economic uncertainty. People wanted leadership and meaningful change. The campaign attracted enormous global attention. Millions followed every debate and speech closely. Excitement continued growing across the nation. Then election night finally arrived. The entire world watched. Barack Obama won the election. He became the 44th President of the United States. History was made that night. He became America's first black president. The moment carried enormous historical meaning. Millions celebrated with tears, joy, and emotion. For many, it symbolized progress and hope. For Michelle, life changed overnight forever. Michelle Robinson from Chicago was now First Lady of the United States. The Obama family moved into the White House. It was one of the most famous homes on earth. But Michelle focused on something very specific. She wanted to protect her daughter's childhood. Malia and Sasha were still very young. Michelle worked hard to maintain routines and discipline. Homework, bedtime, and family dinners still mattered. She fought to keep life as normal as possible. Being First Lady brought enormous responsibility and visibility. Every word, outfit, and public appearance received attention. Media around the world followed her constantly. Pressure became intense and non-stop. But Michelle adapted with remarkable strength. She stayed grounded in her values and priorities. She used her platform for meaningful causes. Soon, she became globally admired. Michelle launched major public initiatives during her time as First Lady. One of her biggest campaigns focused on children's health. She created the Let's Move initiative to fight childhood obesity. She promoted exercise, healthier food, and active lifestyles. She also strongly supported education and military families. Her message consistently focused on empowerment and opportunity. She especially inspired young girls around the world. Her words gave many people confidence and hope. Her speeches became some of her greatest strengths. Michelle spoke with clarity, emotion, and authenticity. People admired her intelligence and presence on stage. She inspired audiences far beyond American politics. Many began seeing her as a global role model. Not just as First Lady, but as a leader herself. Her influence grew far beyond the White House walls. And her story was still far from over. But fame and admiration did not mean life was easy behind the scenes. After 8 historic years in the White House, the Obama family prepared for a major transition. In 2017, Barack Obama left office, and a new political era began. For many families, leaving home can feel emotional. For the Obamas, that feeling was multiplied by history and pressure. The White House had been their home for nearly a decade. It was where their daughters grew up under constant public attention. Leaving it meant closing one extraordinary chapter of life. But for Michelle, another important chapter was beginning. Many wondered what Michelle Obama would do next. Would she disappear from public life? Would she enter politics herself? Would she run for office one day? These questions appeared constantly in media discussions. But Michelle chose a different path. She wanted influence without becoming a politician. She wanted to continue helping people in her own way. One of her biggest post-White House successes came through writing. In 2018, she released her memoir, Becoming. The book quickly became a global phenomenon. Millions of people bought and read it around the world. Readers connected deeply with her honesty and vulnerability. She wrote openly about childhood, marriage, motherhood, and pressure. She shared both achievements and insecurities. That honesty made people trust her even more. People discovered something powerful. Even admired leaders struggle privately. In Becoming, Michelle discussed challenges many did not expect. She spoke about self-doubt and feeling like an outsider. She talked about balancing career and motherhood. She also shared difficulties in marriage and public life. This surprised people who saw only strength from outside. But that was exactly her message. Strength does not mean never struggling. Strength often means continuing despite struggle. Michelle's authenticity became one of her greatest strengths. She did not present herself as perfect. She spoke like a real person facing real challenges. That made millions feel seen and understood. Young women especially connected with her story. She became a symbol of ambition with emotional intelligence. She showed that success and vulnerability can coexist. That message resonated across cultures worldwide. Michelle continued speaking publicly after leaving the White House. Her speeches still attracted huge global audiences. She talked about education, leadership, equality, and mental strength. She encouraged young people to believe in themselves. Again and again, she returned to one core idea. Your background does not define your future. Where you start does not determine where you finish. Discipline, education, and character matter deeply. Her influence was now bigger than politics. Michelle also expanded into media and storytelling. Together with Barack, she helped launch projects through Higher Ground Productions, their media company. They focused on stories that educate and inspire audiences. This allowed him to shape culture beyond political office. Books, podcasts, documentaries, and interviews became new platforms. Michelle continued reaching people in fresh ways. Her voice remained highly influential globally, and millions still listened carefully. So how will history remember Michelle Obama? For many, she redefined what a first lady could be. She was intelligent, disciplined, and powerfully authentic. She brought warmth, strength, and credibility to public life. Some will remember her speeches and advocacy work. Others will remember her as a cultural icon and role model. Many simply remember how she made people feel. She made people believe bigger things were possible. Her legacy reaches far beyond titles or politics. She inspired millions to value education and discipline. She encouraged people to speak with confidence and purpose. She showed that leadership can be powerful without aggression. She proved compassion and strength can exist together. That lesson matters in every generation. Real influence is not only about power. It is also about lifting others higher. Michelle Obama's story began in a small home in Chicago. She grew up without luxury or special privilege. But through discipline, education, and resilience, she reached the world stage. From Southside Chicago to global admiration, her journey became extraordinary. Not because life was easy, but because she kept moving forward through every challenge. And that is why Michelle Obama remains one of the most inspiring women of this generation.